Hello, everyone. My name is Fugeki, and we are live. Just lowering the volume of the music a little bit. We go just a little lower than that. I think this is a good spot. How is everyone doing today? I hope everybody is having a wonderful time, a wonderful day. I certainly am. Did some WoW stuff today as per usual. I tried to have my first Gruul layer pug, which I recorded, but it did not go well. Let's just say that it did not go well. So the Gruul pug did not happen. But yeah, we did a little bit of arena with my friend. It was scuffed, but we did it, we managed, and it's fine. I I don't know, it just feels like there's been some stuff in general, kind of like like life happening and stuff lately, and like whatever, and it feels like my energy levels have been a little down. So I kind of want to take things slow. I feel like my life has been feeling rushed. I'm gonna talk a little bit of that on stream, like tonight. But tonight in game, I don't want to be doing something intense. I want to be something very casual, very relaxed. I'm gonna be farming some reputation. I really need to farm Aldor Rep to get, like the shoulder enchants, but also to get the spell thread, the golden spell thread, to be able to do on my pants. So yeah, I don't know. We're just gonna farm some rep, take it easy, and chit chat. For whoever shows up in the chat tonight, we're able to just have a little small conversation. And I want to talk a little bit about, I don't know, stuff that's been happening with me in general, in life, because I feel like it's like we can always relate when sometimes we can relate to other people's experiences and stuff like that, and maybe my experience can be helpful in a different in a way to someone. So if it is, I'd be super happy about that. So I'm just gonna put it out there, and whoever is going to end up hearing it either on Twitch live right now or on YouTube afterwards, whenever it's going to be uploaded, then who knows. So let's just dive right into game. So this is where we are going to farm. And it feels like everyone is kind of having the same idea as me. All right, let's try to see if we can find another pillar with these warlocks. Why? No, I don't want friendly nameplates. I want nameplates, but not the friendly ones. Yeah, system. No, it's an interface. Interface. Friendly pair nameplate off. Yep. Are these the only pillar? There's one there. Legion Hold Feldreaver. I think these all have a chance to have something around them, right? But because I can't AoE farm like mages and stuff like that, like I need a place that it's like, mobs are kind of easy to kill kind of thing. Gonna have to see if a guildmate could layer me. We don't have layers. Yeah, whatever. I guess we're just gonna try doing it the old school way. We're just gonna start killing stuff, and hopefully things are gonna drop. I don't know if these drop because they're demons. I don't know if they drop Marks of Kil'jaeden. Marks of Sargeras, sorry. I really hope they do, but I don't know if they do. If anybody knows, I would really appreciate you telling me, so that I wouldn't be wasting time doing that. So yeah, chat, as I was saying, there's a few things happening, you know, like in general in my life. It's actually not anything crazy or whatever. It's just, you know, this it's a feeling that I have a lot of times, and it's this, like, you know, this feeling of overwhelmingness. Like, I don't know, when stuff happen in my life that is you know, like, I feel like I have kind of like a lot on my plate, you know, with school and sometimes streaming. With streaming, like, not too much or whatever, but like, you know, I want to upload videos, I want to stream, I want to you know, like, be with my fiance in a really, like, awesome, meaningful way. And you know, I also want to, like, start, like, doing different kind of hobbies, you know, for myself, specifically when I want to have this kind of spiritual connection. I want to engage in a more, like, spiritual lifestyle that makes me connected with myself, connected with the world, the universe, etc. And I don't know, it's just, it's and it feels like the more I have on my plate, which I think that's kind of like the norm, whatever. Like, the more I have on my plate, the harder it is to feel connected, and the harder it is to feel connected because the harder it is to feel connected because it feels like we're also, like, always so much in a hurry, you know, always having things on our mind, that it's hard to be, you know, like, for me to feel connected with myself, for me to feel down to earth, for me to feel like just like connected in general with myself, with something more than myself, and like whatever. A key component that I found is actually to slow down, you know, slow things down, make sure to take care of myself, not feel, if I feel always rushed, you know, to just, like, you know, like, just produce all the time, whether, like, always do something, whatever. And it's not, I've been talking about that with other people, like, you know, on stream, of how it is, you know, like, it's demanding, it's hard, the expectations are high, and all of that stuff. And I feel like it's just hard for me to feel the way that I want to feel in this world when I'm always putting so much on my plate for me to do. Why did that not work? So the expectation is oftentimes set for myself, but it's not always the case. So sometimes it's put by, you know, an outside institution, for example, like academia or something like that. And sometimes it's family, you know, there's so many things happening there too. And yeah, I feel like lately I've been, like, there's been some circumstances with my fiance that we're trying to, you know, feel a little closer. We've been feeling maybe like a little more distant than we would both like to lately in different ways, and it has affected particular aspect of the relationship. And it's nothing alarming, like, at all, or whatever. We just want things to be a little better. We want things to improve, etc., etc. And so, and we've been talking about things, you know, and it's hard. And I kind of said that to her today. It's like, I feel like I can't have like the genuine conversation that we're, like, supposed to be having, that I want for us to have, because I feel like I'm not able to respond properly to what's happening, you know. It's like, I'm not able to respond, I'm not able to receive what's being said in the right way, because I'm you know, like, I'm worried, I'm stressed, I'm thinking about something else, I'm, like, in my mind, I'm way Like it's an emotional circumstances that requires a kind of like emotional response, and I just don't have an emotional response because I'm just rationalizing everything. I'm like, like in my head too much, which influences the way, we're treating the way I'm treating the circumstances. And yeah, so I don't know, I guess it's a learning experience for me, to embody something different in life. Like that is especially obviously anti norm. Like I've always been, that's the part that's not new. Like it's not like it's new for me to be outside of the norm in many different ways. Like I've always kind of prided myself in being outside of the norm, in obviously in a way that is very what is it, in a way that is very still kind of like, I'm radical intellectually, but I'm not really radical in my life in the way that I mean, some people would say that. My parents would disagree with me. I think they just never understand what I'm doing. They officially told me that many times. But did he just do that? Okay, no. I thought this guy literally sent his pet on me. Like misdirected the aggro of the boss, whatever, on me. Anyway, so I was saying that lately, like I feel like my communication in general and my energy levels have been very much lower than they normally are. They're not like the way that I want them to be. They and it is directly related to living a life that is that is more stressful, that I'm not able to relax. I'm not taking time to be with myself and to feel, good in my body. I'm always like stuck in my head, and yeah, so it's I feel like I want to be able to to kind of take a step back, relax. I want to, like, I love doing that morning routine that I have. It's like I wake up around 8, and when around 8 I literally walk towards the there's a place close to where I live. There's a there's a place close to where I live that is literally a beach. And what I like to do is sit on that beach, and I do Tai Chi, because I do Tai Chi. I do Tai Chi in, like, in front of the water every morning, and it allows me to just like relax, but also feel, connected with like the world around me. Like I'm in nature, I'm seeing the water and all of that stuff, and it cools me down. It brings me back a little bit to this world, to my body, to my feelings in the present, and all of that stuff. And yeah, it's I like doing that. Like I do, my Tai Chi routine is about like 4 minutes. So I do my Tai Chi routine for 4 minutes. When the Tai Chi routine is done, then I switch over to meditation. So I sit on a rock right by the water. The water is almost literally at my feet. And that's under a tree. So under a tree, there's like a bunch of rocks. And I sit on one of these rocks, and I just meditate there for maybe like 30 minutes or something like that. So just every morning, taking time to do things right and to slow down, to just, and I think slow down is really the key here. I really need to start doing a better job at, slowing down and stuff, because it's starting to affect, spheres of my life that I would never want to be affected in such a way, like my relationship with my fiance and everything, like, All right. Yeah, I think everybody, from my perspective, I feel like everybody should kind of do that. I've been having really amazing conversations with like viewers that have been popping in the stream that are, themselves feeling sometimes a little bit lost, and they're feeling like overwhelmed, and they're, sharing kind of like emotions that I'm talking about right now. And oftentimes, like that, one of the first thing that I tell them is like, do you slow down? Do you take time for yourself? Do you slow down? Do you take time for yourself? Do you do what you do to be with yourself? Which is always oftentimes like an issue. It's like we don't take the time to just be, because it's always about do. And this place is actually ridiculous to farm. Ridiculous in a good way, obviously. Like I'm happy about it. Look at that, we literally get no breaks. I guess it sucks for a lot of people to be here because, like maybe like there is a respawn time, but like they want like AoE DPS and like whatever. But someone like me was actually a healer that I do pretty decent like single target DPS. Like having mobs that spawn like that, like one at a time, is actually kind of exactly what I need. But yeah, I don't know, like, we've been on, for those who know, like I've been on we were on vacation, my fiance and I, a few days ago, actually, literally. We're in Alberta in Canada for all right, gonna PS myself. Just trying to mitigate some damage, it's not a PS is not gonna be the thing that saves me, but if it mitigates, some damage of me having to heal or something like that, then that's always a good thing. Yeah, we were in Alberta, and in Alberta we were there for 9 days, and it was amazing. It was an amazing trip, really beautiful. I think it fulfilled a lot of our expectation of what we would have liked the trip to feel. So we're pretty happy about that. But there was a weird thing that kind of happened while we were there, that it's like the trip was like split in two. The first half was in Jasper and the second half was in Banff, and there is a clear pattern. There is a clear pattern in yeah, there's a clear pattern in our trip that is like the first 5 days, which are the first 4 days, sorry, which were days in Jasper, were really kind of like really nice, really laid back, really kind of like chill, just being with one another, appreciate the place, like really let it all sink in kind of thing. Yeah, it was just a really nice kind of thing. And then when we went into Banff, we kind of went into a mode of like just wanting to do a bunch of activities, and every day needed to have something. There was always needed to have something planned, and it kind of got us both like like in our heads. It got us both into our heads of always feeling like we needed to kind of like take care of like each other, make sure days were like full so that we don't get bored, and a bunch of stuff like that. And it just led to like on both sides to this like overwhelming feeling of just yeah, of this feeling of just being overwhelmed, you know, having like always having to think. And now it's like we weren't taking the time. We were in one of the most, literally one of the most beautiful places in the entire world, you know, like this, the place that we were in, it's, you know, like in like the what's it called, the go to hell, what did you do this? Why me? What the hell? Okay, whatever. It's okay. It's okay. Um so yeah, we were in one of the most beautiful places in the entire world. Like it looks like paradise, you know, these like, well, depending, you know, obviously like I don't know what paradise looked like, but I mean, when I mean it looks like paradise, is just like the way it moved me and the way it affected me in a way of like this absolute raw, pure, natural beauty that's just there. That's not manufactured. It's whatever. It's just literally raw beauty, you know. And being surrounded by that with like, you know, crystal clear aqua water that is glacier water from the mountains that are literally in your face, that are you know, the mountains are literally right there. They are amazingly tall, beautiful. You feel how old they are. It's like they have so much, you know, like ancestry, you know, like they're like ancient sages that are just there staring at you, with like gray hair on top, you know, because it's snowy. And the lake at the bottom is basically the lake of the water that is provided by these glaciers that is unfortunately melting, as kind of like everybody should know by now with climate change and all that stuff. And anyway, it's just, the landscape is absolutely magical. And like we were taking in that landscape, spending time with it. I was like sitting there meditating. We were like, I was having both feet in the water, you know, both feet in the water, and kind of just like taking deep breath and like letting it talk to me and let me be connected with the place, and allow myself to be moved by the incredible sights, you know, that's everywhere. And so that's pretty much like what like the first 5 days felt like. And then the other time is like when we're in Banff, we were going to this really amazingly beautiful place, and one of the most like known one in the entire world is Lake Louise. Like Lake Louise is, it's like one of the popular destination across the globe for people who want to experience a kind of like Canadian Rockies with like glacier, like crystal clear blue lakes and like whatever. It's the place to go, with an absolutely amazing hike that actually my fiance and I managed to do. It was hard, but we did it. And like we were at that place, one of the most known beautiful place in the entire world, and we had both of us, we had a hard time to like appreciate it, to just sit there, appreciate it, let it sink in. It was so beautiful, but we weren't able to be moved by it in the same way that we were able to do at other places. And it's because we were never able to be present, you know, be present in the moment with this feeling that we have, and embodying that feeling and sit with it, you know, of just being, not doing anything. So like when we were there at Lake Louise, it was, you know, like, oh, we needed to do stuff. So like we did activities, we did canoeing, we did whatever. And after that, it was like, oh, we're going to go back, but then we're going to do the hike and we're going to do whatever. So we went to Lake Louise twice. And one time we canoed, which actually was amazing. The only time I was able to appreciate Lake Louise for what it is was actually when I was canoeing. And the reason why is because when I was canoeing, I wasn't surrounded by people. I wasn't surrounded by tourists. I wasn't surrounded by anything. It was just like kind of like us two on the lake, you know, just paddling on our little boat, taking our time. And yeah, so it was just it. But anyway, it's just this feeling of like doing and feeling rush and whatever is a big reason why we weren't able to appreciate the lake as much as we would have liked to. Like we were both going there hoping, expecting to have a very beautiful and powerful spiritual experience, and we're kind of like looking for that so much that we just never ended up having it. And I think that, it's also because our days are always so filled up. It's like the way it worked. Basically, the way it worked is we were kind of like, okay, we're gonna go to Lake Louise, then we're gonna do this, then we're gonna go there, then we're gonna like, we're gonna do Lake Louise in the morning, and when we're gonna go there, we're gonna be canoeing, and after that, we're gonna do this, and it's just like, this whole like, it was like planning. It wasn't just sitting down, looking at the view, and be like, wow, this looks gorgeous. Like we noticed how beautiful it was, but we didn't embody the feeling of being moved by it. It was just like we felt moved for maybe like, I don't know, 5 minutes. Like the first time we saw it when we arrived, just like, oh, like that's super amazing, that's really beautiful, and then it's just like, oh, okay, now we've saw it, like we can go. I don't know, and I feel like when that happened, it was like for both of us, it was kind of a wake up call. It was a wake up call of like, we're not being in tune with our body, we're not paying attention, we're not doing what we need to do in order for us to feel good, feel happy, feel connected, feel like all of that stuff. And I feel like we both realized it, and it also influenced like my fiance and I. We had really beautiful, amazing, important conversation while we were in Alberta. And these are the same conversations that are like extended, like for example, today, or like since we came back. And this feeling of just not being there, not being present as much as I would like to be, um, makes it that our conversations are kind of like reflected in that same pattern. And our conversations are very much intellectual, they're very much planned, they're very much whatever, and she's trying to connect with me emotionally, and I feel like I have a hard time being able to give her that, because I'm worried about many things. I'm worried about, classic stuff, like I'm worried about money, I'm worried about time, I'm worried about what's gonna happen, I'm worried about the future, I'm worried about all these things. And are all of these worries are making it that like I'm not able to be in the present because my mind is always in the future. I feel like I haven't had a Marcus Sargeras in a long time. So yeah, I'm gonna try to, and I feel like I've also noticed a pattern of like, since I came back, there's only one day that I did my morning routine that I talked about, that makes me, starting the day in a way that makes me feel like at peace, and all of that stuff is like, if you start the day like that, it's very easy. It's a lot easier to maintain that feeling throughout the day. Um, and yeah, so I feel like I need to start really with my be disciplined with my morning routine, making sure I follow it. Make sure I'm assidude. I don't know if it's a word in English, but it is in French. You know, I just need to be disciplined, you know, with making it happen and making sure it's okay, because I feel like it's me not doing this and me living, you know, like my days and my weeks, whatever, in a way that is very disembodied and very far from myself and very disconnected and you know, stuck in my head and like whatever. It just affects all these other spheres of my life, and then I feel overwhelmed and I feel like I can't do enough, and I feel like if I'm not doing enough then bad things are gonna happen, because you always need to, like, you know, we always need to outperform in order to be validated and to be supported, in order to be whatever. That's just been a pattern, you know, of life, I guess, for me. Something that I've internalized from family, from being raised in particular ways and whatever, you know. So yeah, I do put a lot of pressure on myself to perform, to do well, to I'm not. I know I'm not, like, I'm not the only one. You know, like, I feel like we live in a society that we're always pressured to perform and pressured to outperform, to produce, to overproduce, and all of that. And when I'm falling for that, when I'm falling for that narrative, and I'm embodying that narrative in my life, then it has a negative impact on the things that I care the most in this life, which is my relationship with my fiance. So yeah, that's a bit, like, you know, what's been happening lately for me. Uh, of just I don't know, and I feel like I have these, like, I've decided, my fiance and I, we kind of call them like either like signposts or just kind of posts in general or whatever, you know, that is like when I start being in a particular way, when I start behaving a particular way, whatever, it's like it's like there are signs that things are not going good. There are signs that I'm not embodying that lifestyle, that I'm not kind of being the person that I'm that I want to be. Um, you know, and for me, these signs are fairly obvious. You know, they're oftentimes something like I'm getting annoyed more easily. Like, yeah, like I'm, you know, like I'm getting annoyed more easily. I'm getting frustrated more easily. I'm more stressed. I'm stuck in my head, and you know, I'm always like rationalizing things out. I'm not as loving. I'm not as cuddling. I'm not as physically close from my fiance. My sexual drive is going down and stuff like that. So there's always like clear signs when I am out of touch with with this part of myself. And yeah, it affects everything around me. But it's also like, you know, school stuff. I've been, like, I'm doing my PhD right now, but it's like it's been a while since I work on my dissertation. Like, it's been, I almost haven't done anything for my dissertation for like a month and a half now. And you know, that worries me. It stresses me. It makes me wonder. It makes me ask questions. You know, it makes me be like, oh shit, like, did I, like, what does that mean? Should I read, am I reading too much into this? So these are kind of all the things that I'm juggling with right now, which doesn't, like, doesn't make things easy. But I know, like, there's I know there's I'm if these are my problems, like, and stuff that I'm dealing with, it's I know it's a very kind of like privileged lifestyle to be able to say that, like, these are my only problems and worries and all of that stuff. But that's what's been happening for me lately. And I really, really, really believe that a big part of the solution, if I can call it that, like, a big part of the solution is actually to the solution is to, like, come back to myself. This is the solution. But what this coming back to myself look like, I guess, is going to depend from person to person. And for me, coming back to myself oftentimes takes the form of like, it's gonna take the form of like, slowing down, meditating, like, having a schedule and following that schedule. But that schedule is going to be accounted, for having a day that's not overcharged, that's not too much, that's that's well balanced. And well balanced is the key here. Is the kind of like the key term. If I'm well balanced, like, it feels uncomfortable because I never really had a balanced life, but that's what I'm aspiring to. And oftentimes it's a tough thing because, when you've grown in an environment that, in many different ways tells you or shows you, or however you want to call this, that being unbalanced is the right way to do things, then it just becomes very complicated. Like, balanced, unbalanced, is like your default way of being. And if being unbalanced, like, so for me, it feels normal to be unbalanced. It feels normal to to be in my head. It feels normal, and because it feels normal, then it's comfortable. It's comfortable when my life is unbalanced, and I'm so not used to having a balanced life. I'm so not used to having a balanced life that when things are going out of hand and when things are not going well and, like, whatever, by default I go back to what I know and I go back to what is comfortable, right? Because for me, it's like, it's, when you're not feeling good, or when, like, there's something happening, like, in yourself or whatever, you want to feel better. You want to feel better. You're kind of like, oh, okay, like, things are not going too well, so I want to just, feel better. I think is just the easiest way to put it. And for me, feeling better is actually what I kind of like should not be doing, because my feeling better, like, my feeling, it's not better, but my, like, to appease my worries, to appease my fears, to appease my anxieties. I don't do anxiety. It's more like, it's when I say anxiety, I mean, like, stress. It's like, to appease my stress, my solution is to, like, overwork and overkill myself. And it's really, really, really deeply unhealthy in every possible way, as you can imagine. And I need to be able to learn to be uncomfortable with myself. I need to learn that, like, when I'm in balance, when I'm living a balanced, slow lifestyle, which is what I want and what I'm aiming for, it is uncomfortable. It feels very uncomfortable. It feels very unnatural. It feels very different. It feels very whatever. And if I feel that, if I feel uncomfortable, if I feel different, if I feel all of that stuff, like, it means I'm doing it right. and then I just need to be able to embody that new reality as eventually I need to reteach myself and my body that this way is the right way. So yeah, I feel like it's you know, in different ways, I guess, for good and for bad. It just I don't think there is a good and bad in these circumstances, but it's this idea that like God, I wish I was an enhancement shaman to be able to farm this stuff. You just like one taps these people with Wind Fury procs. It's fucking crazy. I'm actually gonna use my Shadow Fiend on this guy. Get myself some mana. And I'm okay. I'm just gonna finish this mob then. Yeah, I feel like we're you know, like this, a lot of this, you know, like consumption capitalism that we're into, it's not necessarily what consumerism says. It's not the basic premise of consumerism, but it's kind of a unhealthy consequence, I guess, of this like very intense capitalist consumerist lifestyle, is that we're being told very early, since we're basically young kids, we're being told that like feeling good is inherently materialistic. Obviously it's inherently materialistic, and it's like the aim is to live a life that is comfortable. You know, like we need to live a life where we feel good in our bodies, you know. And it's not, the goal is not to be like, you know, like, oh, we need to feel a life that feels like shit, but it's this idea of, if you're materialistically comfortable, you know, and it kind of like transpires in I guess like different ways of being, whatever, then it means that it's like, no matter what way you're doing it, it doesn't really matter the ways you're going about it. What's important is that you have this feeling in your body. And I think that leads us to internalize, you know, it leads us to internalize this thought that like, oh, if I'm feeling good and I'm feeling comfortable, it means that like I'm doing things right. And I think that in many contexts, in many contexts, what is comfortable for us or uncomfortable for us and like whatever is actually a thing that could very much hurt us. So yeah, that's my little I don't know, my okay, I'm gonna go up here to have a little drink. I'm hoping some of my monologue is gonna be kind of helpful for I know that, you know, like there's been circumstances where like people have come here in the I've come here in the stream, and they're like they've come here in the stream and kind of like with their own circumstances, you know. Sometimes it's questions about identity, sometimes it's question about like, you know, personal feelings and whatever, and sometimes, some other times, it's like either way, when all of that happens, I always, not always, but oftentimes I make similar kinds of interventions. And the kinds of question that I ask is like, you know, like, are you taking time to just be? Are you always in a doing mode? Are you always just doing, 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 and never just being, being, being? And being sometimes involves just literally just doing nothing, just being with yourself. You know, like sit down in the park under a tree and don't be on your phone, don't read, don't, you know, whatever, and just be with yourself, with your thoughts, with your emotions, with whatever, and just give yourself acceptance, give yourself encouragement, give yourself, you know, like what maybe the world isn't giving you. And that's something that is very hard to do. Being able to give to yourself what the world isn't necessarily like, you know, because oftentimes if you are different, if you are unique, if you're living outside of the norm and stuff like that, the world really rarely kind of like gives you like support and validation and all of these things. So it really fucking sucks. But I think that there's a part that is about learning to be able to give that to ourselves when the world can't give us what we need. And it shouldn't have to be this way. It would never have to be this way. And it really fucking sucks that it has to. But I think it's important to have the, you know, the power, the energy, but also the kind of like the wisdom to do that. You know, we all need support. We all need support. We all need validation. We all need acceptance, and sometimes it's the best place to find that. The first place we should be finding that is within ourselves, because it's also very dangerous when we start living a life where the only support that we can find is through external means, because then it means that either you're gonna be over consuming in many different ways, you know, so you're gonna be over consuming I don't know, like literally products, you know, like consumerist products, which is unhealthy for oneself, but also more importantly unhealthy for the environment, for sure. Gonna PI for this guy because I'm trying to save mana. I want to make sure I have enough to be able to kill him. Oh, maybe I have time to start casting before it goes up. Yep. So yeah, I wish to anyone out there, you know, in the chat or wherever that is like eventually going to hear this or not, or like whatever, I really wish that, you know, you have the chance and privilege and you know, to be in an environment that gives you all of that support, that gives you all that, you know, that support, that validation, that recognition, this understanding that I feel everybody deserves. But there's absolutely nothing wrong in like, I think that at first, and the healthiest ways to be able to find that within oneself first, because then it makes it that if you're always looking at it from the outside, so for example, if you're always looking at it through, you know, like followers on Twitch or subscribers on YouTube or likes on Instagram and like whatever, then you can very much become like, you know, you can become very easily addicted, and you can start living outside of yourself in order to live for others. And, you know, like the kind of like definition of acceptance, at least the way I understand what acceptance means to me, it's this kind of like unconditional love. You know, it's like it's like doing you, being you, and then being like validated, like love and everything for that, you know, not for performances, not for performances, not for what you're doing, but just to like being yourself. And, you know, I think I do think that if you're not comfortable with who, and if you're still questioning or wondering or having these questions within yourself of like who you are, yeah, like who you are, what you're doing, and you're not accepting yourself for who you are for whatever reason, either because it feels uncomfortable or either because it's just very hard, or you're still questioning or whatever that might be. Like there is no right, there is no wrong. Shit. What? I don't know how I did not aggro this guy. I have no clue, but I'm gonna take it. And if there's a place at like, and we also all have our different places that can act as kind of like conduits to ourselves, you know, and each of us have our own, and that's fine. You know, there's no problem with that whatsoever. There is not right way, there is not a wrong way, there is not a good conduit, there's not a bad conduit. Yeah, actually there are such thing as good and bad conduits, but whatever. You know, like the idea is, it's like, so for me, you know, one of my best teachers and one of the thing that influences, you know, like the most, like how I feel and being in touch with myself is actually being in nature. And I think that, you know, like one of the things that my fiance and I are oftentimes talking about, like a theme that keeps coming back in a lot of our conversations, is sorry, I'm just gonna kill this guy quick because I kind of stole it literally from that warrior, and I don't want him to have to kill it for me. No, it's my tag. It's my responsibility to put in the effort to kill it. At least that's the way I see it. Yeah, so for me, one conduit of that is actually being outside in nature. I feel like when I'm in nature, it's like, you know, it's like there is no judgment, you know. It's like nature doesn't give a fuck about, in the healthiest way possible. Nature doesn't give a damn about my life. It doesn't give a damn about my worries. It doesn't give a damn whatever. It's just there, you know. It's there, it's doing its own thing, and I'd like to think that it appreciates and supports me and like does its thing and like whatever, regardless of who I am, regardless of my performances, regardless of whatever. You know, it's like if I'm having a good day or I'm having a bad day, I'm having whatever, like the tree is there. And yeah, and I feel like what we're trying to do, what I'm trying to do in many different ways, is kind of like you know, like replicate the patterns that are found in nature. And I think that it is one of the the beauty in many different way of the natural world. And it's, again, it's a topic that keeps popping back in conversations from my fiance and I, is that like, like the flower, the flower that is like under the tree doesn't judge the tree for being differently, and it's like the tree is gonna, like, you have these really beautiful big old trees that are like very tall, very imposing. They feel like they hold so much knowledge and so much everything. It's just, it's so beautiful when you see and you're being moved. And then like, these entities are there, they exist. And but when they're together, so you have this beautiful, incredible tree, and then right next to it you have this very kind of like weird tree that is like, it's growing with it roots, like half of the roots is in the ground, the other half is in a rock, and it grows like this, and it's crooked and it's messed up. And why do these mobs keep doing that? I just killed that mage. And it really is that. It's like, like, the tree is still beautiful even when it grows crooked. And the plant doesn't care. The plant doesn't care if like, it doesn't care if the tree is crooked or straight, because the plant is gonna, like, feed off the same soil that is going to be super rich, and it's gonna be enriched by the dead leaves that are gonna, like, give transform into what is it, like, fertilizer for the soil, and the tree is like, it, without the tree, probably that little flower would have way too much sun and would end up burning. So it's kind of like, it kind of just so happens that, like, everything ends up being at the right place, doing its job, and nobody is, like, judging each other. The flower doesn't judge the tree, the sun doesn't judge the water. They kind of just all do their own thing. Oh, good thing that happened. Really? I didn't even see this guy. So yeah, so we're like, it's part of our ideals, I guess, of my fiance and I, to be able to emulate that, to emulate that feeling of nature, of like acceptance and understanding, and just being, and just realizing that, like, your being, even if it's, like, even if it's even if your trunk is crooked, even if you're whatever, like, you're still, like, who cares, you're still beautiful. You're beautiful even if you're crooked. You're beautiful even if, like, even if the plant, even if the other tree grows straight, you're beautiful in your individuality and your and all of that stuff. And I think that's an amazing lesson that we can learn from the natural world, that is intertwined, and it's interconnected. Everything is like interconnected, and yet, like, they're all individualistically different. They all have their own characteristics. They all kind of like fulfill their own roles and fulfill their own things. And and they don't, like, the flower doesn't need, like, it's cool when they do, and I'm sure they're kind of like, happy in their own little, like, flower and tree way. Like, I don't know what a happy tree looks like, um but it's in its own happy way. I'm pretty sure that, like, the tree is happy that the flower is there, and such as the flower is happy that the tree is there. And I'm sure that in their own way, they they know that, they feel that, they recognize that, and they don't, like, it doesn't really matter what and but at the same time, it's like, I'm sure the tree is happy that the flower is there, and probably finds the flower beautiful. But it's like, I don't know, they also not like, they're also not like interdependent to the extent that, like, each of them, like, absolutely require, like, the validation of each other to live and to do its work and to be beautiful and to be themselves. The tree doesn't need the flower to tell him, oh my god, you're so beautiful, then you look so old and you look so wise. Like, the tree is gonna be old and wise and beautiful regardless of what the flower thinks, or how the flower feels about him. It's just gonna do its thing. It doesn't care if it's crooked. It doesn't care whatever, because it doesn't, like, need that validation, or that validation is just intrinsic to itself. Oh, and I think that's a really incredible, beautiful model. And I think that if we talk about it from a more kind of, like, I don't know, like, human-centered perspective. Give me 1 second. My laptop went to sleep. I just need to reactivate it. All right. In our own way, it's kind of like, just imagine, like, just imagine when you go in nature. When you go in nature and you're being moved by your environment. When you go in nature and you see a beautiful scenery, like, I live right by to one of the 5 biggest lakes in North America. It actually feels like an ocean, looks like an ocean, and everything around it really, like, if you're on it or anything, you would think it's the ocean, literally. I live right by an amazingly beautiful, incredible park that is full of very old weeping willow trees that are my favorite kind of trees. And they all right, time to DPS. Yeah, and it's a beautiful park, a big park. Right by the sea. There's wildlife in the sense of, like, there's, like, birds that are, like, chirping, and there's, like, squirrels and that kind of stuff and, like, whatnot. It's a very beautiful, lively place. And I live, like, walking distance from that, which is absolutely, like, ridiculous to me. Ridiculous in the most, like, positive way you could ever imagine. Like, it's beautiful, it's mind-blowing, it's like, I've always wanted in my life to kind of, like, be in and live close to an environment that is just like this, that is accessible every single day. And when I walk into the morning, when I do my morning walk and my morning meditation, and I go into that park, that same park I literally just described, when I go and walk into that park and I'm sitting on these rocks and I'm meditating or doing my tai chi in front of the water, you know, like on the feeling the grass on my feet and everything. It's you know, like I'm so moved by it. I'm so moved by everything. Oh my. You know, I'm moved by the place, I'm moved by the environment, I'm moved by the water. So like I, you know, like I look at the water and I'm very 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 deeply moved by it, and I appreciate it. I'm kind of like, wow, you know, you're so incredible, you're so beautiful, you're so like all of that stuff. And but like, you know, like the water isn't trying, it's not trying to be that for me, you know. It just is, it just does its thing, and that's it. You know, like the water is not beautiful for me, it's not seeking validation from me. It just is beautiful, and then I have the luxury to be able to be there to appreciate it. And I think that's close to, I don't know, like kind of like how I would like to feel, and how I would like my life to feel in general. Oh, yeah. Sorry, chat. That was a lot of monologuing tonight. I guess it's okay, you know, like it's not, nobody's like has been popping up in chat, so either y'all listening to my monologue in silence, in awe with what I'm saying, or either thinking I'm so completely fucking stupid you don't want to engage with it, whatever it is. But you know, it's just, even if it's just this, you know, like invisible internet, you know, I'm still happy to know, to be able to verbalize that, say it out loud. It's gonna be out there, it's gonna be on the internet, and I'm hoping that, you know, like in its own way, like I am hoping that what I'm saying right now and what I'm saying tonight is going to be helping, you know, maybe someone have an idea, a model of something that can be different. uh is it gonna come to attack me? Of course it will. Okay, I'm gonna try to finish my kills. Yeah. No, attack somebody else. I'm feared. feel like if I'd be a hunter, that's what I do. I would literally just like tag one of these big dudes and like whatever, and then I would just like misdirect it to somebody else. Of course. I missed Fear Ward by like half a second. So yeah, chat, you know, like in outside of my monologue and everything that I've been like rambling about for the last, you know, like since the beginning of the stream pretty much. Are things going for you folks, and what there any reactions to what I was saying? Do people, I'm just curious when I say stuff like that. Like I think it's you know, I'm kind of like living in my little world, my little cocoon with my fiance, and like we think alike on pretty much all of these things and whatnot, and it's you know, it's like I know that she would understand what I'm saying. She would kind of like, you know, like validate it and all of that stuff. And but like if I say that to someone who's either not, you know, not a Taoist or not a Buddhist, or is inspired by like the Buddhist tradition and like whatever, I'm just curious, like how does that resonate with people? How many marks do we have? 60 marks? All right, all right. No, I've been drinking my arena water all of this time. I'm so fucking stupid. I'm so stupid. I can't believe it. Oh, shit. Oh, also chat, one cool thing from the game and like whatnot. One cool thing is I've been able to we were able to find ourselves, like a guy from my guild, I was able to find myself another mage. A mage for us to do some MRP, some RMP. Some RMP for 3v3, and I'm really excited for it. Like really excited. Oh, nice. The mana pot. We love it. It hasn't dropped once since, I think. Okay, I'm gonna loot this guy before it despawns. Do we think, chat, do we think we'll be able to get to 70 marks before the end of the stream? The end of the stream is in 15 minutes. I need to use Chastise more often for damage. I need to kind of like use it almost like on cooldown. Why? I don't know why my thing didn't work. Ooh, nice. And it's good to have, I don't know if Reflective Shield works with spells, right? Cause 50% of the damage absorbed to reflect back, and it causes no threat, which means, like, yeah, so even when these guys, like, Shadow Bolt me and, like, whatever, it should reflect onto them. That was such a bad move on my part. I mean, I didn't mean to fear. That's really not what I was doing. I was trying to Shadow Word Pain both target. It's just that my Shadow Word Pain is basically like mouse button 4 or whatever. So I have like a 12 mouse button, and my fear is shift mouse button 4. So basically I just did the spell, but I didn't press shift. So instead of Shadow Word Painting, I just feared everyone, everything, everywhere. Okay, I might have missed like one hit. I might have missed one hit of my Shadow Fiend, which is okay, You know, we're not gonna go crazy over one hit. Gonna use Desperate Prayer to make sure that we don't have to use mana. Okay, chat, we're at 62. I got lucky that tag didn't get stolen. Alright, 2 seconds on pain sub, so it means we're pretty much gonna be able to survive anything. I'm gonna heal myself to full. And Shadow Fiend's on cooldown for 3 minutes, so we're just gonna drink. I don't know how much it's, I think it's good to, I don't have damage talents as disc right now. But I still think that it's probably better to level at this because of PI, Pain Suppression, and I have a bigger mana pool. And a bigger mana pool means I need to stop less to drink. Always want to try to PI whenever my shield is up, because it means that my shield is gonna last longer, because the damage that I'm gonna be getting is gonna be reduced by 40%. So always try, if you can, even in PvP, always try to PI whenever your shield is up. And even when you're playing like in arenas and like whatever, PI also makes it that your dots or your hots or whatever is happening, like your shield, your buffs, and like whatever that's on your target, as a 65% chance to resist dispelling. So if you have PS, not PI, PS, sorry. If you have PS up on yourself while your shield is up, your shield becomes 60. There's a 65% chance that it won't get dispelled. So it's like really, really, really valuable. You get most of your PS when your shield is up. And you get most of your shield when PS is up. Do you want to bet that this monster is gonna come for me next? Even though I was literally drinking there, didn't touch it, didn't even look at it, didn't do anything. See? Oh, well, they got it. That's good. That's good to know. All right, 64, chat. 64. If I'd get to 70, that would make me very happy. I didn't have a goal. I just kind of wanted to do something chill in game that didn't involve a lot of, you know, like a lot of thinking, a lot of whatever, and I'm gonna PI for this. Trying to burst them down as much as possible without using, you know, mana. Oh yeah, I'm gonna shadow protection myself. Because they why did my wand go off? I had it right in front of me. I was ready to wand. The mage didn't get it. Like, we were both stuck, whatever. And then my wand just didn't go off. Should have been my tag, chat. Alright, at least I got one. That's okay. Perfect. I'll be able to use Shadow Fiend on the second dude, so that he gets some nice damage done to him while giving me all the mana to be able to kill both very easily. Gonna dispel myself to basically dispelling myself in these circumstances is actually just kicking is drain life. That's basically what it means. And I'm low, so I'm going to use my inner focus with my max strength greater heal to not waste any mana and top myself off with one heal. Okay, I have PS that's back up, and I have PI in 50 seconds. It's kind of crazy how many people there are here. And it's kind of crazy the amount of freaking Netherwind cloth I'm getting. Holy schnitzel. You know, like I came here to farm some marks, not to get some nether weave cloth, but I'm guessing hey, you know? I don't know. Maybe I'm gonna sell some, you know? If that can make some decent money, why not? Oh, all right. We got paint sub and PI up, so we're gonna use both of them. Now that we have both tags, gonna burst down one. I know my shield is gonna be okay all of this time because I had PS. Shit, we missed that tag, but it's okay. I wish I could dispel myself. Actually, I can, but I'm gonna be fine. Alright, time for drinks. Time for drinks because my Shadow Fiend is 3 minutes on cooldown. Oh, in chat, I bought this AC yesterday. We had no AC. It's like I've been living in different apartments all over Canada for the last 8 years. And for the last 8 years, I did not live with AC because I just didn't have the money, didn't care enough, whatever. And for the first time, I have AC, and holy shit, it's a game changer, I'm telling you. Holy crap. It's not like I lived in a cocoon all my life for me to like actually not know this, but you know, it's just I don't like when a place is like really cold, so I don't put AC so that it's really cold. It's just when it's too hot and I feel like I'm sticky and sweaty, whatever, I like to have AC because it kind of makes it, I like to make the place like tolerable, you know, when it's intolerable. And now I feel like I can, and it just feels really awesome. Oh, it's such a simple thing, or like whatever. Like, as most people are just living with AC and they don't care and they don't whatever. And like I don't have AC and it's fine, you know. Like I never had a problem, and I was kind of happy without it, to be honest. So it's kind of weird for me, like I don't know, like having an AC. I'm enjoying it. Okay. Oh, I need to rebuff, so I'm gonna do it using my inner focus so that it doesn't cost me mana, and I can continue chain pulling without an issue. And I'm going to, okay, I don't even need to. I'm gonna wait to use PI in conjunction with PS whenever there's gonna be a lot of people around. Are you getting this, bro? You want it, bro? It's okay if you do. Well, I have no clue what this rogue is doing, but I'm definitely appreciating it. Oh, is this like someone in chat or something that's just kind of like being this anonymous helper? I'm gonna bow to this guy. I'm gonna bow to this guy. You're a beast, man. I don't know what you're doing here. He's like a fucking bot. Like, I just attack something, he just runs to it and attack it. That's insane. He's so badass. Like, it's incredible. Ah, okay, there's an agenda behind it. Wow, I'm so dead. This is so chaotic. No. Okay, I have inner focus. I can top myself off. Oh, okay. We managed. We lived. We lived. This guy just it's coming right beside me. He's like, I saved you. I'm like, thanks? Like, I don't know. I don't know what to say. Thank you. Alrighty, chat. It is time. It is time to assess the circumstances. I like this song. So at the end of pretty much an hour and a half of farming, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I got 9 stack of netherweave cloth. It's almost 200 netherweave cloth. This is a lot of netherweave cloth. So I got 9 stack of this. I got 70 marks of Sargeras and 4 fell armaments. So just to give you an idea, fell armaments give you 350 rep. Okay, I'm actually gonna do a little calculus here, you know. Okay, 350 times 4 is 1400. Okay, I'm just gonna continue turning that in. All right, I think that's the last one. Yep. All right, so 1400, and then Marks of Sargeras, I think they give 250. I'm not sure though. I'm going to confirm. More Mark of Sargeras. So for 10 mark is 250. So let's remember 1400. So 250 times 7 equals this plus 1400. So we have farmed basically 3.1k honor in an hour and a half. All right, so now I have 20k honor to go through. So if we do, so 3150 is where what we did, okay? So if we do 2100, no, 2100, no, 21,000. So 21,000 divided by 3100, it gives us 6. That makes sense. So 6 times that. Okay, so let's say 6.6. So 6 is the thing, right? Times 1.5. So for us to like continuing what we were doing, we would have to farm for, like, if the drop rate is similar to what we have, we would have to farm for 10 hours to get to Exalted. Which is the goal. I'm supposed to reach Exalted. That's like the goal. We also did, you know, we have all of these nether weave cloth, which is incredible. So let's I'm gonna keep one for myself like this. Just gonna disenchant everything. No, why did it do this? Oh, I hate when it does that. Let me try disenchant on my bar. Okay. Disenchant this. Greater planner essence. We like that. So as bonus, I guess, as bonus, we got 3 greater planner essence. That's incredible. 3 greater planner essence and 7 arcane dust. Could have been like 20 arcane dust or whatever, you know? And I'm gonna see how much these sell just for fun. So now we should have enough greater planner essence to be able to craft our what's it called? Our rune eternium or rod. But what we're missing is the primal might. So I need 4 primal mites, which is gonna be kind of a pain to farm, but whatever. Oh, Milestone is on cooldown. That really sucks. Anyway, I need to put all of this stuff on the auction house. All of these. All of this going on the auction house tomorrow. I have 16 holy dust, which is like for the inscription stuff and like whatnot, which is really awesome. I got this today as a thing, and I just thought it looked so fucking cool and badass that I just wanted to keep it in my bag just for like having it there. 5 void crystal is a lot. I think that's really good. Yeah, so what I'm doing right now, it actually doesn't really matter what I do with. Let me just go put all of that on the auction house as, you know, as planned or as whatever. It's always going to give us an idea of, like, yeah, like how much this is worth and how much I can, like, kind of like make out of this. If I was to sell everything. Because it's not just good for rep, it could potentially turn out to be a kind of like relatively decent farming spot, like especially if you're like already exalted, which as an idiot I forgot to check what I can buy as revered. So that's my bad, chat. I should have done that. Oh, and by the way, folks, there was a kind of cool trick in Stormwind. You probably don't know this because I've never seen anybody do it. If you're kind of atop here, if you're kind of on top of this thing and you jump on the tree, you actually land on top. And then you can run like this for a little bit. Eventually you end up falling through. But that's the fun part. So, oh, usually that's about where it falls all the time. But you know, you can just be cool running in the sky. You know, they say flying isn't allowed in Stormwind. Think again. Think again. All right, let's see what that gives us. So netherweave cloth for that is negligible. Abso-freaking-lutely negligible. Man, the divide one that just literally fills the auction house with one netherweave cloth. Like, really, bro? Really, bro? Alright. The cheapest buyout for netherweave cloth in a stack is 13 gold. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, right? So 9 times 3. Let's say 3.15, because why not? It's 28 gold. I will make 28 gold from selling this, which I think is not worth it. What if what's the price of imbued netherweave? Let's check that out. 7 gold each. What's the price of bolt of netherweave? 1. So 1, 3. What's the goal of arcane dust? So if bolt of netherweave are 1 gold 30. So let's open up the calculator, because I fucking suck at mental math. Okay. So 1.3 times 3, 3.9. Okay, 3.9. Then this for 1 is like 150. So it's plus 3. So the costs of a netherweave is like 7, almost 7-ish gold. It's 6.9. So you'd be making 1 gold profit with the bolt of netherweave. Technically. It's like I have all the mats, so I can do it no problem. But I don't know, it's just a lot. Anyway, I don't want to be doing this right now. Okay. But that's probably what I'm gonna be doing, chat. Super healing potion, 1 gold each, let's say. This is 75, 75, 75, 75. Okay. So if it's 75 for 1, how much is it? $75 per unit? It's 375. Alright, so we're just gonna do this. 375. Thank you. 375, and it's gonna be 370. Yup. All of this in there. Yep. Okay, how much is this crap? Elixir of water walking. 95 for 1. 95, 95, 95. Okay. So 0.95. Yup. Nope. 0.95. Yep. Times 7. 575. I'm just gonna round it up to 6 gold. That's okay. 6 gold is gonna be okay. 5.95. 99. Yeah, we're gonna be that guy. All right. Now I want to check Bell armament. Ew. Okay, so let's say 21,000, right? 21,000 divided by 250. So we need 840 marks of Sargeras. So that's literally 800 gold. So yeah, it would be about 800 gold to just pay my way through. To pay my way through Exalted. Not gonna happen, bro. Not gonna happen. All right, that gives me an idea. It gives me an idea of what I'm not going to do, because I'm definitely not doing that. But, all right, chat. So chat, that's it for today. That is going to be the end of the stream. I finished a little 15 minutes later, but I hope that you folks enjoyed my little, like open it up, my little vulnerabilities, explain what's going on with my life a little bit, like how I've been feeling lately and what I'm hoping to be able to do to change, to improve, and also, like I think that this journey and what I've learned and what I'm learning at this moment and sharing that, with people, I think it's going to be very helpful. Hopefully it's going to be very helpful to maybe give you some ideas of what to do, and also keep in mind that, like a lot of my own understanding of these things and my own, like, I'm informed by a lot of it is coming from my fiance, and we're both coming from a more like Buddhist, Taoist, like yogic oriented background. So, well, she's from that background. I don't, but I subscribe to this life philosophy in general, particularly more like the Buddhist one and the Taoist one. So I know it's not a thing that necessarily resonates with everyone, but like my fiance is also a psychotherapist, and there are so many different psychotherapeutic schools. Like for example, like my fiance specializes in somatic approaches, which is very much like trauma gets stuck in your body, and whenever a thing happens, it's like your body like enacts that trauma in the same way, so it gets trapped there, and whenever similar circumstances arise again, your body reacts to the same way to that trauma that it did before. If you'd be a psychiatrist like Dr. K, you would understand that as being a process of the mind, and he understands that process as he always described it as samskar, which is the Sanskrit word. And but it's this idea, so he understands it being a process of the mind, and the somatic approach understands it as being a process of the body, and somatic like finds the answer to that in liberating that space, like literally freeing your body from that trauma. And a lot of it is very similar to meditative practices of like like awareness and mindfulness meditation, like vipassana meditation and stuff like that. So it's like and she uses that approach on her clients on a daily basis, and sees incredible results, incredible growth. There's so many different like research like backing this up, and these kind of approaches, whatever. And we know, like, as Dr. Kev trying to like teach us on like in the world in general, that like the East Asian world and the South Asian world, like they have figured things out, like like thousands of years ago. They have thousands of years ago of like added up knowledges on things that are so incredible and so amazing. And I think that this like embodied feeling and going back to the body and this internal journey that is very highly promoted to like meditative approach or whatever, is something that is very, very, very easily discredited in the current world, and it's very not encouraged. And I think that it's important to do that, and having the kind of like analytical, philosophical underpinnings and in spiritual underpinnings between that is actually super important. So like I love that stuff. I love talking about that stuff. And again, I'm also informed by this like psychotherapeutic approach of my fiance that is also building off this knowledge that has been there for thousands of centuries and thousands of years, for not thousands of centuries, thousands of years, you know, in the East Asian and South Asian world. So I hope, you know, it will resonate with some of you. I hope maybe there were some people that were just in chat, you know, kind of there, like sitting down, lurking, like just listening, you know, and not necessarily participating, which is always fine. But anyway, chat, my so this is gonna be the end of the stream. I am going to be streaming tomorrow night as per usual, and at 10:30, and if not, I will see you guys on Sunday at 10:30. I will try to get myself into some pre-mades of doing BG. I really need to farm my PvP gear desperately. There hasn't been any pre-made BGs group that have been going on my server like today and yesterday, so I haven't been able to do that. So I ended up just farming reputation, which is something that I actually really need to do. Farming gear is pretty much done. Now the only thing that I would need to do is farm my mats for my enchants, which is like farming primals and farming all of that stuff. And I don't know, it just like I guess it's just not that much of a priority. I would rather prioritize PvP. Now that the PvE stuff is kind of dealt with, now that the PvE stuff, like I'm prepared, I am raid ready, I am all of that stuff, the stream is going to start slowly but surely moving into the direction of becoming more of a PvP oriented stream, which is my goal. It was my goal since the beginning. I play TBC to do PvP, so like it is going to take that tangent, and it's not just going to take that tangent, but I'm also going to start, you know, releasing content related to PvP, like PvP guides, especially for discipline priests and stuff like that. I'm also going to do runs of heroics that I think I would like to be able to do one run of each heroic as a discipline priest and as maybe even like a holy priest or like whatever, and kind of like do, you know, like here's my advice as to what is the best way to engage with that run. So like if you're here, make sure to shackle these targets. If you're in these pools, I like to, you know, like PS the tank because it's gonna take like massive amount of damage. Make sure to always pre-heal this. This is how you do certain skips. So I'm gonna try to take the knowledge that I've accumulated of doing a lot of like these runs right now and just put it out there as the guides, like how to maximize your best healing potential as a priest when you're gonna be doing these runs. So stuff to check out. I'm also really wanting to start working on editing these videos about, I want to do a video from like my trip to Alberta. So that's something also to look at. I want to make a video about tea. I've just received like a bunch of teas that I want to make videos about, and I want to talk about especially like the knowledge-based video about tea, about its history, its mythological, its ways of pronunciation around the world, its different ways of brewing, its traditional brewing, its modern brewing. So I want to engage into that. I think it could be very interesting, and I love talking about tea, so it's definitely going to be something that's going to be out there. And slowly but surely, I'm also gonna, you know, like start re-engaging with my schoolwork for my dissertation, and eventually some of the stuff that I'm going to be doing is going to be transformed into a kind of video essay that I'm going to be putting online for you folks to watch. So make sure to check that out on my YouTube channel at Fugeki22, and I also stream there simultaneously down on Twitch, so make sure to check that out. But everyone, thank you so much. It's been great. It's been very helpful to me to like speak out loud like I did today, and I hope it was helpful for you too. If you enjoy the content, make sure to leave a like, you know, like subscribe if you're on YouTube, and follow if you're on Twitch. And if anything, also make sure to check out my Twitter, because if ever I can't make it on a certain night or I decide to go off stream, you're going to find it on Twitter. And I'm also uploading like new content on Twitter. If I put like a new video out there, or YouTube video or something, you're also going to find it information there. So check that out, Fugeki22. But if everything is okay, then I will see you folks tomorrow, and I wish you to have an amazing night and an amazing day tomorrow. Bye bye.